do you all know what is a flipped classroom, flipped learning first? Are you aware of the term?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe someone can tell us a bit more about the flipped learning term.
Okay. What I know about flipped learning, there are different meanings to it, but one of the definition is basically to record a video of your own teaching, and instead of you standing in front of the classroom to teach, that whole thing is being captured so that your students can go home, watch that video, and what do they do during that school time is you will have to facilitate the discussion with them. Yeah, so that's one of the things.
For me, when I was reading up the materials, because I'm doing this in my school, we are planning to do this as one of our PLC, our professional learning community. When I was reading it up, I'm still in the literature review stage, so what we're reading up, what I know is that basically the students have to make meaning of what they're supposed to learn at home first. They get so-called the instruction at home. Then when they come to school, we're supposed to co-construct the meaning together with their fellow classmates or with the teachers. Yeah. So that was what I was reading, but I read up a lot of flipped learning in other classrooms like in physics, in science, because a lot of these videos are out there, like those experiments, how to carry out experiments, all these things. But in English, the only one I see a lot that's having the possible is grammar. They have a lot of grammar videos online. Students can go home, read the grammar video, come to school, and then learn it. But that's only one aspect of English, you see. So I was thinking of coming up with this topic and ask, like, anybody here has ever tried doing, like, what would the, yeah.
Yeah, a bit. My thought about deep learning is that how feasible is it in the local context, as in primary schools, for example?
Yeah.
Are our kids able to do the work we want them to really do at home first, and ultimately come back to the class to discuss? Do they have the time to even follow through those activities you want them to do outside of the classroom? To make meanings, and later on come into class to share. I'm not sure. That's my thought.
Well, I have the same concern.
Where are you from?
Yeah. Chiming from Nanyang Poly. Yeah, I have the same concern whenever I ask students to do work on their own. I think the usual tactic that we overcome this is when you come back, there's a quiz. I don't know whether is that something that you also want to explore. Sometimes it's like you put something out there, there will be students who are very conscientious and they go and look at it, but some will just browse through it without actually looking at it properly. Because nowadays they multitask and they can just open the window and do something else. That's how some won't bother.
Okay. So one way
you need motivation. Some
yes.
things to
by increasing them. Because actually, I think one of the elements that we're concerned about, because just now I was kind of about it with another friend outside the sound. She was saying that flipped classroom has basically there's three levels, three dimensions of flipped classroom. First dimension is basically you posting the first. I think the first dimension is quite easily attained. Just put the instruction. You just select the right material, get the students to read it. The second dimension is a bit more challenging, but definitely doable. Is where the teachers are the ones let's co-create the meaning to that. But the third dimension is where the students are the ones creating the material. That is the challenging part, because I think just now, in our e-Fiesta, a lot of us were discussing about, do our students even, like, let's say the keynote speaker was talking about how even as students, they were already afraid of like commenting on each other or failing or things like that. These are the things that, like, let's say, I'm also concerned.
I think the objective of flipped classroom is when the students come to the classroom, they can do more activities. And the teachers will talk less, circulate around. So you probably want to focus more on what activities you want to give the students, and then you support it with what things that they need to pre-read or learn before they come.
What exactly do you, what do you teach using this model?
I teach chemistry.
Okay.
So I think for science it's quite easy. Let's say if there's a lab or something like that, the students can do a video or a demo before they come and do it themselves in the lab. That's one way.
Anyone teaches English as well, also considering the flip technology methodology?
Okay, why don't you check who teaches English here also, right?
It's not you.
Maybe I'll just give my opinion on listening. And as English teachers, like sometimes talk about how English you don't really have content. I mean, in a sense, you don't have specific content to really teach the kids. But we can use anything and everything in that sense, right? As you talk about the 3 dimensions of flipping, I'm just wondering where, before we even flip the classroom and talk about flipping, maybe we might want to talk about learning. Because flip classrooms, I think the focus is really on the learning and on the learner. And if you don't get that clarified, you're doing a lot of things, but could possibly be doing things differently, but it's still the same thing. So we give them the content, we expect them to watch the video. Maybe watching the video is a lot more motivating than doing a worksheet. So the content is basically the same. Maybe even the so-called instructional outcomes could be the same, but I'm not very sure the learning outcomes are changing. I mean, is there a change in the learning outcomes? Because for me, the learning outcomes actually affect the learner beyond just the content learning. So it's about who they become as a learner. And that to me is the highest dimension of a flipped classroom. And of course, that's the ideal. Is the ideal unreachable? I'm not sure. I would like to believe that it's reachable.
Yeah.
What about the others? Are you all also school teacher?
Anybody who is teaching in secondary schools here? Okay, why? Interesting. Just one. Yeah, sorry.
I think I agree with what you said about cheap classrooms, whereby you meant that students explore on their own at home. Then so, okay, my understanding of flipped classroom is not way. So correct me if I'm wrong now. So flipped classroom is that students explore on their own on some, maybe provide some things or some, maybe just one question that you really ask them to explore online. So because the internet is so-called, it opens many doors. So they explore their own online, then when they come to the classroom, they gather their own so-called research and everything, and then they combine everything together. Is that? But then for English, do you mean that, what do you mean by creating work for flipped classroom? Can you clarify? And yeah.
Okay, for example, what I was planning to do for my students using this project is the initial idea, it hasn't went through the so-called feedback and review yet, is we plan to get, because we always, when we teach students expository writing or these things, we always complain that students don't have enough content, they're not curious, they're not curious on how to expand the topic on their own, they have very limited viewpoints, perspective on this. So we're thinking of using the flipped classroom to maybe help them to model what kind of content they should look at, like sort of like a spark. Then from there we go to the classroom, and then we discuss. Then after that we're hoping that the students will then learn how to select and create their own how they will actually source for information. Yeah, in that sense. But all these are like what we wish to come, but in the middle the processes is still a bit blurry at the moment. Yeah. So I'm just here to ask whether anyone has experiences. Yeah. Actually also because I'm also interested, so the reason why I am doing this is because I realize it's quite scary to actually put up a topic personally for the Unconference. And I'm trying to organize the Unconference myself because in the future, we're trying to do our own mini version of Unconference for secondary school teachers, of course all educators as well. Yeah, but it's quite interesting to try it out and experience it firsthand myself, instead of just theoretically imagining how you would like. Yeah, so.
Another suggestion, maybe, because I'm not sure whether your students know the concept of flipped classroom, what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So I guess you have to sort of like train them.
Mm.
So it cannot be one session, maybe a few rounds, then you expect the first session maybe a lot of them may not have prepared or something like that.
Mm.
Subsequently, they know what to be expected.
Okay.
By the way, okay, because for me, right, I don't teach MOE syllabus, I teach ICT in classroom. So I think that maybe if your school has ICT teachers, right, you can collaborate with them so that they can, like example, the subject and ICT. So the ICT teachers, right, can help you teach on how to research or what to research on. So when they go home, they know what to do. Yeah, so the ICT can sort of help them in their learning kind of thing.
I have ICT teams in my school. Everything is done by the subject teachers in a sense. Yeah. But thank you for that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's all.